Hello, my dear boys and girls. My tonight's arrangement is change of voice, past indefinite tense. I have already written 7 sentences and I have given you the idea about subject, object, finite verb, that is principal verb, etc. And you can remember that I have already discussed present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, etc. And my today's topic of discussion is change of voice, past indefinite tense. And you know what past indefinite tense is? An action, an activity that took place in the past, that occurred in the past, that happened in the past, and the verb takes past form. The verb takes past form. You know that there are 3 forms of verbs: present, past, and past participle. Please listen to me very attentively so that you may not skip a single word or a single sentence, because I am teaching you in a very slow motion. You see, I rescued the drowning boy from the pond. The boy was drowning in the pond and I rescued him. So I is subject, rescued is finite verb or principal verb, and ask rescued, whom did I rescue? It gives a very simple reply, the drowning boy. So it is an object. And from the pond is adverbial. It is an adverbial of place. Now let us change from active to passive voice. What will be the passive form? The passive form of the sentence must be the drowning boy. Your object must be the subject. So the drowning boy, and according to the subject, there must be was or were. And obviously, you will use was. The drowning boy was rescued by me from the pond. The drowning boy was rescued from the pond by me, or the drowning boy was rescued by me from the pond. So, the object will be the subject, and according to the subject, you will have to use was or were, as it is the past tense, past indefinite tense, and you will have to use the past participle form of the verb rescue, rescued, and rescued. And by is preposition, and I, the subject, will be me. Now come to the second sentence. They threw stones at the hanging mangoes constantly. They is subject and threw is finite verb or principal verb. Stones is object. Ask the finite verb threw by what? It will, in a straightforward language or unambiguously, answer the stones. Stones is a direct object. At the hanging mangoes, it is an adverbial, and constantly is an adverb. Now let us take the object, that is stones. So stones plural number. So you will have to use were. Stones were thrown. Throw, threw, thrown. Thrown by them at the hanging mangoes constantly. Or you may express the sentence in another way. Stones were thrown at the hanging mangoes constantly by them. They is subject and its object is them. Now let us come to the third sentence. How many guavas did you buy from market? It is an interrogative sentence. And how many will remain as how many? And guavas is object and you is subject. It is subject. Okay? Then what is the procedure of changing an interrogative sentence from active to passive? How many guavas? Object will become subject automatically. Automatically object will become subject. So how many guavas were? Guavas is plural number. Automatically it will come or it will become were. How many guavas were bought? Principal verb is buy and its past participial form is bought. Buy, bought and bought. How many guavas were bought by you from market? Or how many guavas were bought from market by you? Whatever may be it or whatever you like. Okay, my dear boys and girls. Now come to the fourth example. What did you do for the neighbors during the COVID situation? During the COVID situation, what should be treated as object? Now it will be treated as subject. What was, you know that what should be used as singular form. What was done, do, did, done. So do is the principal verb. What was done by you for the neighbors during the COVID situation? Or you may write, what was done by you? What was done for the neighbors during the COVID situation by you? Okay? Now come to the fifth example. Here you see that there are two clauses. One is principal clause and the other is subordinate clause. I admit that you helped me in my distress. That means in my miseries. The first person is present form and the second clause is past form. But I advise you not to use double passive in a sentence. So the principal clause will remain intact. I admit that me is object and its subject is I. I admit that I was helped. I was helped by you in my distress. I admit that I was helped by you in my distress, or I admit that I was helped in my distress by you. It may be used in another way. It is admitted by me. So you will have to supply a preparatory it. A preparatory it. It is admitted by me that you helped me in my distress. And the clause will remain intact. I advise you not to use double passive in a sentence. Now let us come to the sixth example. She made a doll of wax for her sister. Now, made is the finite verb. She is subject. A doll of wax is object. Ask the word meant by what? It will give you the answer. A doll of wax for her sister is an adverbial. Now, change into passive voice. A doll of wax, it is an object. It will become subject. A doll of wax was made because a doll of wax is singular. A doll of wax was made. So there is no problem. Was made by her for her sister. Or a doll of wax was made for her sister by her. She is subject and her is object. Now, there remains my last example, that is the seventh example. I was to solve the problem myself. To solve is an infinitive and it is a compulsion. So, the problem is object. It is obvious that the problem is object. Now, what is the procedure of changing this type of sentence into passive voice? You will have to write, the problem was to be solved. Remember it. The problem was to be solved. Myself, by me, or by me, myself. Again I am repeating. The problem was to be solved by me, myself. Myself is an emphatic pronoun. It is not an example of a reflexive pronoun. So there is no problem. You will bring the object as the subject, and according to the subject, you will have to use was or were, and you will have to use the past participle form of the finite verb, and then use by, and then use the object of the subject. Thanking all of you. Good night. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Again I remind you to subscribe my channel, and I will be encouraged and enthused to appear before you with many other grammatical items. Good night, my dear boys and girls. Please subscribe my channel.